Joining me tonight on the set to talk about all this is Chairman of the American Conservative Union, Matt Schlapp. Matt, good to see you.
Good to be with you, Rob.
So just first off, the response to, that had to be the best answer of the day.
Well, it's actually kind of serious because here you have an increasingly aggressive Russia. Vladimir Putin clearly sees America as weakened under Biden. And Biden basically gives the hint of, hey, we might not protect Ukraine if they get invaded. It shouldn't have been about whether or not they're in or out of NATO. It should have been, let me make a very clear statement. Russia should not touch Ukraine. He didn't say those words. It's not on the cue card.
What is going on here? I mean, and can you imagine if you had a Republican in the White House making some of these moves?
No, the George W. Bush montage that brought back nightmares. So I was on that campaign. That was a tough moment, you know.
Sure.
And candidates have those exchanges and they get better. The problem with Joe Biden is he's been doing this his whole life. He's not going to get better. No. He's probably going to get worse. And so he's my president. He's your president. Like, he's got to do a good job overseas. And so that's why the staff is trying to prevent him from answering any questions, because he really can't answer them. That's a terrible performance. And I just hope they don't replicate it. They're going to have to keep him under lock and key even more. And by the way, when Nancy Reagan said to Ronald Reagan in hushed tones and said they were doing the best they could about a scandal, it was an international scandal that the First Lady was actually answering the question for the president. Here you have Jill Biden basically leading the guy off, off that platform. It was not a good moment. Not a good look.
It looks like she's trying to take his job from that picture on Air Force One.
Well, this is the question. At CPAC, we had this question last time. We're going to talk about it again. Who is in charge? Is it the staff who's writing these notes about who he has to call on or whatnot? Is it his wife? It can't be Kamala Harris, because I have to think that that woman can't even get through a basic interview without putting herself in a bad position. So there's this whole question about who's really in charge. By the way, that's a scandal in and of itself. We shouldn't be electing people to the presidency who don't have the ability to actually handle the rigors of the job. It's a rigorous job. I've seen it up close. It's not an easy job.
But he's so protected. I mean, it's like nobody wants to talk about these things, and they make it sound like it's crazy to bring it up. It's ridiculous. More than 100 reporters, Matt, waited 3 hours for this press conference. Biden was so late, and they only got 5 questions. You have to think that on days like this, the media must to some extent miss the transparency of the Donald Trump administration, where they got to ask a million questions and we got to see everything.
Look, and he got ribbed, President Trump, because there was a time or two where he had a card that had some writing on it that a staffer, like Hope Hicks or someone, had handed him. And, my wife used to always say, he would give him a hard time. He's like, I don't need your notes. I know what I'm going to say. And he was fearless in walking up to that press crew. He would answer each and every question.
He would exhaust it.
And I actually think that and I've talked to several members of it, the White House press corps, they are beginning to get very frustrated over this over-management of them. There's no access. There's no press conferences. And it's not like the vice president is stepping in when the president isn't. This is like a news blackout. We've never seen anything like this in the era of the modern news organizations.
It feels in a way, and it's not, it's still a free country, don't take this the wrong way, but it feels in a way like a dictatorship. It feels in a way like a place where the White House has some kind of control over the media, because by and large, the media voted for Joe Biden. They like Joe Biden. They don't want to hurt him. I think they see the threat of Donald Trump coming back, and they're going to protect this old man as much as they can.
Yeah, lids have replaced leaks. And the problem is it's the twin problems of a White House press corps that has absolutely nothing to write about or to cover. And then social media that's blocking all of us who might be political critics of the policies coming out of the White House. So you have those two things going on at the same time. And I want Joe Biden to understand very clearly, go back to the Gallup polls, the #1 group in this country in terms of size for the last 20 years are conservatives. We outnumber socialists, we outnumber liberals. I don't know what he's talking about, but I'd like to sit him down for a cup of joe and explain to him the demographics of this country. They think that they're winning on all these demographic trends, and the facts are the opposite.
It's unbelievable. Climate change, a key focus among the NATO leaders. Here's the president today.
We adopted a far-reaching plan to make sure NATO can meet the challenges that we face today and in the future, not yesterday. The NATO 2030 agenda, and that we agreed to fully resource that agenda.
Your response to this focus?
Yeah, this is where America First has been swapped back to this soft, mushy globalism. The whole climate change agenda really benefits China, who always gets special sets of rules,
Get out of it, yeah.
and so does India. And the American working man and woman is the one who's damaged as our energy prices will go through the roof. You know, we don't have a lot of nuclear power here like they have in Europe, so they really take advantage of this situation, and we're going to write all the checks. We're writing all the checks for the vaccines. We're writing all the checks now again for the WHO. We're going to write all the checks when it comes to our use of carbon. And all we do with carbon, you know what we do with it? We create jobs. We make things here again. Remember when wages went up under Trump and manufacturing jobs went up? You know why that happened? Because energy prices were reasonable. Now, you know, when I fill my truck, it's a sticker shock. And, and for people that are having trouble paying their bills, that's a terrible thing.
But all the libs think that if gas costs enough, nobody will ever drive again. That's the way they...
Hey, it's all about bicycles and windmills, man.
Exactly right. Yeah. Matt, good to see you. Thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate it. All right.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.